All right, this is my response to the video that was posted up about would I kill a child underneath certain circumstances in which he has stated uh, that my life would be in danger. My answer would be yes, and that is because I love myself and I don't trust anybody who is willing to to be that bold enough to threaten my life, threaten my family's life, anything of that nature. Because an act is an act. I don't agree with um, the state laws in which they kind of feel that when you're of a certain age, if you're underage and you kill somebody, that you only get a certain amount of time, and then you get out of prison, and it may not be based upon good behavior, but just because of the simple fact that there was a number attached to the act, and I think that is unjust. I feel that if you commit any type of crime that deals with harming an individual, I feel that you should get the ultimate uh, punishment in its fullest, and not be looked upon as being, oh, that's a juvenile offense. It's not. There's no such thing as a young death or a young murder. Uh, Saying that a person died, and it's like they died an honorable death or a dishonorable death because of an age. I think that um, I agree that today's time is it's a lot worse. Things like this have been going on for many years, as you stated. In biblical times, I mean, there were disrespectful kids back then. But I think the difference today is that it's just grown in numbers, or it's made more obvious. I mean, maybe this had been going on. Well, I can't. I know I can't say that. I'm sorry. I just can't. Just to be truthful, it is. It's really through the roof. I'm around a lot of kids at a school, and I see the level of disrespect. Not all of them, but just like a few that I do see. It's like you can look at them and you can tell like they're going to be a huge problem for society when they get older. Now, what I find interesting is that sometimes these kids that act out, they have a mental disorder, or they're labeled as having a mental problem. They don't take life seriously. They don't take authority seriously. Um, they walk around and they think that everything is a joke. They either have that character, or they have the character of being like, well, uh, I got a chip on my shoulder, and I'm supposed to be holding up this bad boy or bad girl image. I think that it is sad that parents, some parents, that they reinforce this type of behavior, that they planted this type of seed in their children from the time that they were like, wee young. But we cannot forget the fact that these parents that have these children, it's a strong possibility that they also grew up the same way, that they also grew up um, being, ornery and being disrespectful, because it's like, we're living in a generation in which the generation gap is really small, it's short. So instead of having 20 plus years in between the adult and their child, you're like within the teens. I mean, you're dealing with a 16-year old having a child, and by the time they turn 32, their child is also driving and talking about like, yeah, I can't wait till I graduate in a couple more years. So it's like, wait a second, that's crazy. You mean to tell me that there's parents out there who is just turning 36 and their child is going to be, graduating from high school or in their second year of college? And the answer is yeah, that's very common, um, it's becoming more common. I can't say that it's really like out of this world, but I think that has a lot to do with it, because as when you become an adult, you're supposed to mature, and I think that that is a big fail within a lot of poverty-stricken communities. I can't necessarily say that it's a black or white thing, but according to my own naked eye and just looking at the statistics, I would say, based upon what I see, it looks like it's a lot of black communities that are out there that are going through this. It's a lot of black people that are going through this. And one thing that I can say that I have not seen, I have yet to see an Indian with an Indian teenager with a baby. I yet to see a Chinese person with a baby out of wedlock. Uh, Also, I think that when it comes to whites, you do see it, but when you look at them, they tend to have this quote unquote blackness about them. They kind of stand out as being like, oh, like you a brother, you a sister. It's just that your skin is a little light, and they too also their kids also act out, and I can tie it to just that culture, a subculture within the black community. It's not saying all blacks, but within the black community, you have this thing where ignorance is like ruling, as king, as being cool. You see it within our entertainment, within our music. A majority of the music that is being promoted uh, promotes this type of behavior. It promotes being violent. It promotes, being outspoken against authority. And not like how it was back in the day, in which you had NWA and things, groups of that nature that was trying to bring about either a point, or they would take political issues and they would put it within a song. Today it's just sheer, we're just going to act a complete fool and do it the best that we can. um, and it is sad. So I guess in closing, I would, I would harm a child if they were set out to harm me. Um, and I have compassion, for children, but at the same token, it's like when you do something like that and you reap the consequences. Hey, I really can't say you didn't deserve it, but you did earn it, and that's all I have to say. So peace in, good video, confusion out.